Hey everyone, welcome to Underwear Needs the podcast. This is our first podcast since Christmas. We hope you had a great Christmas and a happy new year. And we're moving on with the new year at the site. We've done some changes. If you've been to it lately, you noticed some changes over there with the content and whatnot. And we hope you're enjoying it. We've gotten some really good feedback so far. And we're going to keep doing it. And thanks for reading. Also, the podcast today is another model podcast with William from NorCal Bods. He's done some amazing work over there. And if you go to our Facebook page, you'll see the picture he talks about in the podcast. So it's gotten some good response. And I enjoyed talking to him. And he's done some real interesting things. So without any further ado, here is William. And now we welcome to the podcast William from NorCal Bods. Welcome, William.
How are you doing tonight?
I am good. How are you?
I'm pretty good. Enjoying a nice sunny day here. It's been rainy the last couple weeks, so it's nice to see the sun out for a change.
I'm familiar with that. I'm in Atlanta, and we've had like 3 months of rain, so.
Here in Sacramento, it's foggy, rainy. You don't see the sun, but maybe every other week during the winter months, so it's nice. It was a nice day today.
Good deal. So let's get right in on the podcast. And so tell us what got you into modeling. What was it that made you want to pursue a career in modeling?
Actually, modeling was something that I never really saw myself doing, never dreamed about doing. High school, I had acne and low self-confidence, but I was big into sports. And through athletics, I've always had a good physique, and that developed as I aged. And also, as I got older, my skin started to clear up and my confidence grew. I also played high school and college football, and I was one of those people. I was chasing a dream. I wanted to go pro. That's what I wanted to do with my life, but unfortunately, I had a series of major knee injuries, and that door was more or less slammed in my face. So it was kind of one of those things where I had to start over. So after school, I moved back to Florida. And, it was more or less a couple years of just existing and trying to find something I enjoyed and had a passion for. And I was more or less overrun by struggles of normal day-to-day life. I was tied down by financial obligations. And all during this time, I knew, being competitive and into sports, that there was something else I wanted to do. But I didn't really know what that was and what door would open. I was kind of just waiting on something to happen. And I was told by several friends and family and that I should model. As I aged, my skin cleared again and my physique was good, and people used to tell me, you look like an Acromy model, or you look like this or that. Mm-hmm. But it still never really crossed my mind. But I was on MySpace and Facebook. I had personal accounts on there, and I got approached by a couple companies, NorCal Bods being one of them. And I started talking with Gary. It was back in November of 2008, and he really intrigued me. We got to chatting, and he told me, he saw something in me. He saw potential, and, it still wasn't something that really clicked for me. Mm-hmm. And I was so busy with work and all that stuff. I got overextended and got into a house and a truck payment, and I was really tied down by all that, so I really couldn't afford to pursue anything else. But then again, I was working 80 to 100 hours a week.
Wow.
Just working my life away. And, it was one of those things where I was miserable. I had money, I was successful, but I hated what I did. And, we went through all the economy, the economy getting bad and all that, and I ended up losing my job because of it, and that was really a big turning point. I couldn't afford the lifestyle I was in. Yep. And I also realized I wanted other things. That's not what I wanted my life to be about. So I kept in touch with Gary. We kind of touched bases back and forth every month or so, and he still told me he wanted me to come out. So we finally got around to it actually in September of 2009, and I came out to see him the 25th through the 29th, and it was definitely a life-changing experience. I felt that I found something that I enjoyed and that I was good at and that I can succeed in but still be happy.
Cool.
And, I didn't really want to go back to Florida. I came out here. I was excited. I found something new, but then again, I had obligations back, so I went back home, and I ended up pretty much cutting all my ties during that time, and was talking with Gary, and I decided I wanted to relocate. So the middle of December, December 14th, I think it was, I moved out here to Sacramento, and since then the ball's just been rolling, and everything's seemed more or less to fall into place.
Oh, that's good. It's always a good thing when that happens.
Yeah, it definitely was, because that whole time I ended up getting offered my old job back. So I had a hard situation to weigh out. I was considering, do I go back and I could break myself free of all this, or I could also get back into it and get my finances right again. And I just decided that just wasn't a lifestyle I wanted. Couldn't get to the gym, couldn't do the things I enjoyed, couldn't really have a social life. It's more or less living to work instead of working to live. So here I am now.
Cool. So how do you like working with Gary and NorCal? How's that worked out for you?
It's actually been excellent. I love working for him. Gary, he's a very kind-hearted and caring person, but at the same time, he knows what he wants. He knows how to critique you. He tells you, he explains why you should do this, why you shouldn't do this, what looks good, what doesn't look good. And part of that is I also have a good bond with him and trust him, which for me it's very important. I've had trust issues with people in life, and we got a good line of communication, which in any facet of life you do, I feel it's very important. So, we communicate very well, and he's also, he's promoting us. He's always explaining what we can do, what we can't do, why, what's a good idea, what's not a good idea, who and what to look out for. And, mostly the main thing I notice is he's got our best interest in mind, which, is important, because I've realized in this industry, and not just this industry, but it's the world nowadays, period.
Yeah.
Nobody's looking out for you. So when you get someone that is, it's definitely a good thing.
Definitely. That is true. So Gary's was your first modeling experience then, I take it?
I did a little petty stuff here and there, but real actually modeling, yes.
Cool.
So it was definitely, don't have much to compare it to, but I saw his work, and his work impressed me more than anyone else's, and he, like I said, he knows what he wants, and he knows how to get what's needed.
Yeah, definitely. He's really good. I've enjoyed working with him the last couple months. So you did a shoot this past week. So how did that go?
Actually, being here now in Sacramento, we're shooting pretty much every weekend. He usually has a model fly in, a new model, and we go shoot with him, and whoever's here will come shoot. And we always come up with excellent stuff. He knows just where to go, good locations, scenery, lighting. He knows what he wants. He knows where to go. I mean, it's awesome. We always come out with good pictures, and the great thing is as of late, the next couple weeks, or the last couple weeks since I've been here, it's really been coming into its own. I've been getting more experience and learning, how to transition and what works for me, what doesn't work for me. I had kind of a problem in the beginning being comfortable with the camera, and now that I'm comfortable, it looks a lot more natural, and you get a lot better looking photos.
Definitely.
Once you become comfortable and relaxed. So it's definitely been great.
Good deal. So do you have a favorite picture from the shoot or any of the other work you've done?
Yeah, you know what? Last week was definitely our best weekend. Like I said, I haven't told you yet, but I had a major knee injury that I've been coming back from for like the last 2 years, and I've really been working on my physique, and it really hasn't been until the last, say, 3 months, maybe 4 months, I've even been able to train legs. So that takes a big chunk out of anybody who's training for fitness or modeling or any sport, when you can't train the way you need to. So I've just actually, as of late, been coming back into my physique that I want. So this last weekend, and even now, I'm even better than last weekend. Now I've been learning a lot about diet and past sports I played. I haven't really had to abide by that. I see food, eat food. You know, you don't really have to worry so much on what your physique does, like modeling. So that's been a learning experience. But this last week, we definitely got some good stuff. My favorite ones we had one that we did at Jenkins Lake that was underneath these trees that were like overhanging, and I got dirt all over me, and it looks kind of rugged looking. I thought it was really cool. And also we did 2 weeks ago, we went to Santa Cruz to the boardwalk.
Oh, nice.
I got a couple good pictures on the beach that I was real impressed with. So that went pretty good. I think this weekend we're planning on going to San Francisco. So
that'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll probably get some good stuff there too. And being new to California, you know, I also enjoy doing this because I get to see, you know, a whole nother world that I haven't seen before. Being from Florida.
Yeah, I have yet to go to California, so I know what you're talking about.
It's beautiful, beautiful.
So I'll get out there eventually. I have friends in San Diego and where else? One other place. I forgot off the top of my head. Oh, L.A. Duh.
Never been to either one of those. Definitely want to go, but we're in Northern California.
Yep.
But man, every place we go, I'm just like, wow. Like they have all the mountains and the cliffs and the scenery and the lakes that look like there's something out of a movie. Like we went to Sly Park at Jenkins Lake that we shot at. And wow, it looked like something out of a storybook. I went there and I was just, you know, it's nice going to shoot, but it's also nice getting out and just seeing some of that stuff. It's so peaceful.
I agree. It's always good to travel around. So, did you play any sports in high school, college?
Oh, high school, I was everywhere. I kept my parents pretty busy. They always supported me and went to my events. I played football, baseball, track, weightlifting, basketball. I did a little bit of wrestling, and I also it wasn't actually in high school because they didn't have it, but I also did kickboxing and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Wow.
When I wasn't involved with someone else or when I could fit it in during the time. So I was nonstop.
You were busy.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
I've always ever since I was a kid, I've been a sports junkie. I was raised up north, so I mean, even when I was up north, I would be out snowboarding or skiing, or I was always doing something. When it was warm outside, I'd be outside all day playing football in the street. So sports have always been a main cornerstone of my life, and being in the gym and all that. Without them, I kind of get stir crazy.
Cool. Yeah, it'll drive you insane if you have to stay somewhere.
I also played a little bit of college football, but you know, my thing was I was involved for so many sports for so long, and I had knee problems. I actually tore my ACL in high school and didn't know. Well, I knew I hurt myself when it happened. I didn't know how severely. I ended up playing with a torn ACL for 2 or 3 years.
Oh.
Then it got to the point where I had a really bad knee injury where I dislocated it and tore my MCL and patella tendon and had a little fracture in it. And on top of that, they're like, your ACL was already torn before. So I had a really major injury that kind of put playing ball to a halt. I didn't really think I was ever going to be athletic again.
Well, luckily it turned around.
It did turn around.
Very cool. So since you're now back working out, can you tell us a little bit about your workout routine you do, since you said you're now working your legs again and getting over your injury?
Yeah, my workout routine, it stems back to my roots in high school. I actually played for a top national team, Lakeland High School, which they're up every year. They're in the USA Today top 25. They're one of those just powerhouse. It's one of those traditions where you'll get 20,000 people at a normal Friday night football game. So we had the best of everything: training facilities, equipment. Our coach was very knowledgeable, knew exactly what to do. So my training more or less stems back from that. I really like to train heavy and hardcore. I do a lot of explosive training and a lot of compound lifts. And when I train, I generally like to, I know a lot of fitness and bodybuilders focus a lot on the pump and looking big and that type of thing, but I really like focusing on performance just as much as anything, because I'm still involved in sports and I want to get back into them even more. I've been talking to people about getting back into training for doing jiu-jitsu and doing the boxing and all that again. I might try fighting here sometime soon since I'm feeling better and I'm fully recovered. So I do a lot of squats, cleans, bench press, all that old school stuff that, nowadays a lot of people take a back seat to it.
Yeah. With all the machines.
It's really, for someone who wants to get in shape, for me, the old school stuff's the way to go. It's hard and it's nagging, but it produces results.
Cool.
So, that's generally what I do.
Very good. And
my workout split, I almost couldn't even give a workout split because it changes so much. I change that's one thing I've also found as of late. The more I change my workout, the more I mix things up, I seem to get better results. So
yeah, that's what Tori said when we had him on a while back. That he sort of doesn't have a certain day; he just sort of does it.
And I also won't necessarily focus on. I'll keep a note in mind what I've worked that week and what I need to work and what body part might need a little extra work. But I also generally focus a lot on how my body feels. Being in athletics so long, you get a real close-knit relationship with what you can and can't do and how you're feeling and that sort of thing. So I generally go on what my body tells me, and it's usually right.
Good deal. So, yeah, you have to listen or you'll do something and make it even worse.
Yeah, I've also, a big thing, too, that I've also learned in training is training for injury prevention. A lot of times people go in the gym and try and throw around big weight and do things incorrectly. And with anybody in sports nowadays, a big part of the game is staying healthy.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter how much you lift or anything like that if you get hurt. And you have to take a couple months off. So that's also been something I've kept in mind, and just staying healthy.
Good deal. Yeah, you got to do that, especially being a model.
Yeah.
So
I'm no good with something pulled or anything like that.
Can't work, and you don't get paid. So
exactly.
So cool. Since you're shooting underwear, and we're an underwear blog, do you have any favorite underwear companies you enjoy wearing, either in the shoot or on your own?
I'm actually pretty lucky. We get provided with so many good brands, and there's really a lot of brands that I like a certain pair of underwear or a certain look or a certain style or fabric or material they use, and I really like I like Calvin Klein.
Uh-huh.
I like Sweat. I like Armani and Basket. Those generally tend to be my favorites.
Cool.
So I also judge by how I look personally in them. So
oh yeah,
you're gonna tend, if you're shooting in them, to pick the ones you look best in. So
exactly. You pick some good ones. So
yeah, always keep that in mind.
Cool. Yeah, those are the good ones. I've tried all but the Armani. So.
Oh, the Armani, they're soft.
They're on my list. I have not tried them yet. So.
Yeah, they're definitely nice. They're all nice. We don't get really anything that I don't like. So they do a good. We get a good mix and a good different variety. So before I started modeling underwear, I was in Walmart boxers. Now
see, now you get the good stuff.
Yeah, now I get the good stuff, and I'm like, man, these are nice.
Yup. That's what I tell people. Once you buy the good underwear, you'll never go back.
Exactly.
Because you'll be like, I am not wearing that. Sorry.
And nicer underwear that's made better. It feels a lot better when you wear it too. That's another thing. Not only does it look good, but it feels good. Doesn't ride up and nag you or isn't uncomfortable. So.
Exactly. Good underwear is a good thing, we always say. So what has been your best experience modeling?
You know, I haven't been in it very long, so I came out here late September and come back to the middle of December, so I'm still relatively new, still learning a lot and still, getting experience, and I really don't have a massive portfolio behind me or anything like that since I'm new to it, but I did do a shoot for Playgirl last time I was here, and Gary and I were at a bookstore, going into the bookstore because they were going to release the new issue, and I actually found myself on the cover of it, so
wow.
I didn't even know that was going to happen, and I was shocked, but it's kind of one of those things where you see it at first, and you're just like, wow, what is that? And then it kind of doesn't hit you. And I was kind of shocked, but, it definitely felt good. And, seeing myself published in something big like that, a big reputable name, and doing things like that, the more your name gets out there and the better pictures you have. And
exactly.
You get stuff posted, and it really boosts your self-esteem, and it starts making you feel somewhat accomplished. Very
cool. So how did the shoot for Playgirl go?
It was great. It was great. They're very easy to work with. I had a good time.
Cool.
Definitely had a good time.
Let's have our listeners check that out, especially since you're on the cover. Very cool. And so where can other than Playgirl and NorCal, where can our readers see more of you at?
You can find me on cityboysfashion.com, malemodelfitness.net, sweatundergear.com, Baskets website, Model Mayhem, Ice Studios, 2K Models, B Model. There's several, and also if anybody else wants to see me, they can generally just go on Google and type in William Price, NorCal Bods, and a lot of stuff has been coming up now for that, and that excites me too, because when I first started, I didn't have anything but maybe my own website, and now there's a whole bunch of stuff. But they can also check me out on, I do have my own personal website, which is william-price.com.
Cool.
So everybody can go there. They can find me on there. I've got pictures, posts, updates. I try my best to keep everything up to date. People can send me messages on there. I also have if they go on there, I've got a Yahoo Groups club.
Oh, cool.
People can actually go on there and join my fan page, and I try to make that special and put some cool stuff on there, and they can also, once they become a member, they can message me, and I try to do my best to keep up with that.
Very cool. So I hope you people go check it out. So thanks for being on our podcast today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we will have another podcast for y'all soon.
Sounds great.
As always, thank you for listening, and you can check out our blog at underwearnewsbriefs.com. We're on Twitter as UNB blog, and join our Facebook page. If you go to facebook.com/underwearnewsbriefs, you'll find us, and you can find that picture I talked about. And also with this podcast, there'll be sort of a mini gallery over there with this post of William and some of his pictures. So hope you will check that out. We'll hopefully have another podcast for you very soon. We're always working on getting new ones, but we haven't finalized any just yet. And we will be going to Magic next month. I've gotten the official word, so we'll bring you some of the best and newest underwear out there. And we hope you have a great week, and we will talk to you very soon. Bye.